We had heard about St. Albert Lions Church well before 2025. To hear of the passion that St. Albert Lions Church has for putting Jesus as the functional head of the church really intrigued me, really excited me about what was happening here. And then earlier in this year, as we began to pray for St. Albert, not knowing that we were going to be a part of this story at the end of the year, has been an amazing journey of just seeing all the good things that are happening here. And as we got invited, Farrell and I got invited to come in and join the staff here. We were excited about all the stuff that was happening, the healing journey, the priority of Jesus as the leader of the church, who is not shaken by any of the things that have been happening. We got to know the board and the staff and the congregation, and there have been so many exciting moments in that to see all the amazingness of what's happening here at Stack.
God has moved in some really huge ways at Stack Youth this year. One of the ways that we've really evidently seen that is every single week there's been new students showing up. There's not been a single week this year where there's not been new kids walking through our door that have been welcomed by our leaders, that have engaged in the community at Stack Youth. So Jesus has just been moving in some really cool ways.
The theme word for 2025 really is community. So we've seen God move in incredible ways through our Alpha ministry, through our women's ministry, through the gatherings, some of the small groups that we've seen there, through many of our C3 groups, new people coming in, experiencing community together, and in our group life, so our small groups. We've seen small groups in homes where many of them are actually exploding. So our young family small group has got lots of kids, lots of families coming and connecting with one another. We've also seen small groups, adult small groups, where they're inviting their neighbors to join their small groups, and people are coming to know Jesus through experiencing community with one another.
So this year at the Hub, it's been really exciting because we've seen God really work in individual lives, helping them wrestle through some of the most difficult stuff in their life. And also with couples. We've seen some couples whose relationships have been really struggling, and just see them find the hope and the help and the healing that they've needed to bring their relationships back together again.
Oh, God is on the move because Xtreme Kids is growing like crazy. In fact, there has been a couple Sundays where we have had over 200 children in our Xtreme Kids wing, which means we have an entire congregation, a mid-sized church happening on the other end of the building. It has been tremendously exciting. It's busy, but very, very exciting. And with this incredible growth, we have had a lot of new volunteers join our team, and we are so thankful for our volunteer team. We have 150 plus volunteers serving in Xtreme Kids, and this ministry would not exist without those extra hands who come every week, every other week to play, to love, to serve, to give, to minister to children, and point kids to Jesus. We are so thankful to all of our volunteers.
We're in this back hallway of the church building behind the stage. And we're back here because in 2025, this has been a sacred space, a space set apart where we had the chance to pray for 61 unique people who said yes to baptism. We would pray for them here. We'd go into the baptism tank as people heard their stories, hear their testimonies of what Jesus has been doing in their life. And it was just such a joy to see 61 people say yes to Jesus. 61 people say, yeah, Jesus, I want to follow after you. And then to see these 61 people, their lives changed, transformed because of what God is doing in and through them.
We ran a True North Day Camp where we had 100 kids come through our doors. And it was such an exciting week to see all of these kids learn that they can trust Jesus in this wild world. At the end of the week, we had 12 kids accept Christ. So we had big celebrations all around. It was tremendously exciting to see the work that God was doing.
So Growing Roots is the birth of a dream that happened over 5 years ago. And in September 2025, that dream was launched. Growing Roots Preschool opened its doors for the first time. And we are so excited to see not only our church family engage in this preschool, but our community around us coming into our building for the first time. And many of their children hearing about Jesus for the first time in a faith-based program.
So when we were planning Love St. Albert the first time and talking about what it was going to be in our community, we wanted it to be a bridge-building event where our church says to the community, we love you, no strings attached. Just come, let's just have fun together. This last year in Love St. Albert 2025, it's our 3rd year running, and we had such a phenomenal year. We had about 500 volunteers making it work, and we had about 2,000 people from the church and from the community come. Many had never come to church before.
Even when your faith is small, like a mustard seed, you can do so many powerful things.
God moved in mighty ways in the Mexico missions trip. We're a couple months out of it, and seeing our students are like all in, and you can see the impact that the trip had on them in their walk with Jesus. Like, there are some of our students that are wanting to pursue missions after high school. One of our students went away to Bible college and is pursuing becoming a pastor because of the revelations that were happening on this trip. So Jesus just moved in these beautiful ways.
In 2025, it was evident that Jesus was the head of the church. And I'm so excited for 2026 to continue to see Jesus as the head of the church, to continue to see where Jesus is leading St. Albert Alliance Church, to continue to see how we are going to be good news to our neighbors and beyond by practicing the way of Jesus.
Yeah, what does it look like for St. Albert Alliance Church to have greater impact into our community? To be walking side by side with Jesus as people are being saved, healed, and delivered, to be using all the gifts, talents, and abilities that He's given us to use. What does that look like for 2026? And what does it look like for us journeying together with Jesus in this? I don't know if you're as excited as I am about seeing the answer to those questions, to seeing the answer to what Jesus is going to do in us and through us for 2026. Let's lean in together to see what that looks like.